Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Naja Wright Brown, getting ready to speak with some amazing guests. We're on Unchain News. Thank you for tuning in. I am so excited about this segment. We're going to be mixing it up with Chef Nikki in the Soulful Veganista. All right, so let's get started. I got some bios to read off today, starting with Chef Nikki. Chef Nikki in the Mix is a vegan chef located in Atlanta. She is living her dream as a stay-at-home mom, creating delicious plant-based meals for her family and working side by side with her partner Gray with their online business Based Drippin. Recently, stepping into her new role as a mompreneur, Chef Nikki released her first product, Nikki's Fat Ass Cakes. Who doesn't love fat ass cakes? Pancakes, that is. Plus, they're vegan, soy-free, and nut-free. These pancakes are sure to leave your taste buds singing. Thank you for joining us today, Chef Nikki.
Thank you for having me.
And then we have the fabulous Jamila Anahata. She is a passionate activist, healer, and lifestyle coach in the DC, Baltimore area. Her favorite topics to touch on are shadow work, social justice, and spirituality, and how it all affects her life as a Black feminine. In her free time, she likes to read tarot cards, practice self-mastery, rock out to metal, and lift heavy at the gym. Thank you for joining us, Soulful Veganista. Let's get ready to rumble.
I'm ready.
Talk to me about your journeys, okay? Starting with Chef Nikki. What was this vegan journey about? How did you get started?
So I got started. I actually saw video footage of what happens in the slaughterhouse. And this just came from me like scrolling on Facebook, and it caught my attention and I watched it. And in that moment, I said I was no longer eating meat. So I didn't know like veganism or plant-based. I just knew seeing those animals being slaughtered in that way, it did something to me. So I called Gray and I said, look, we're not eating meat anymore. And I was crying and he's like, are you watching more of those videos? And I'm like, yeah, I just seen one on Facebook, but this one is like horrific. And in that moment, I stopped eating meat. I started to experience with faux meats because, you know, I was used to eating meat. So I was like, I can still eat chicken and beef tips and all these things. So I would cook all those and they taste really good. So there was no reason for me not to, you know, get rid of meat altogether. And thankfully, my partner, he was on board. He's like, if you're cooking it, I'll eat it. And I just started getting really creative and I actually expanded my palate going vegan, trying new foods, new veggies, new fruits, like everything. I was just used to the American standard diet, which is just like the same meals over and over and over. But being plant-based, I'm experiencing so many different foods and it'll be 4 years in August. So it's been like a great journey, not just for the animals, but just healing. Seeing the weight drop off myself and Gray, seeing how better I feel, my energy levels are high. Like I just feel better, mental clarity and everything. So it's helping the animals and it's also helping myself. So it's something that I'm so thankful that I found out about. I had to see a video of horrific slaughter in order to do it. But the end result has been a great thing. And I've also tapped into animal activism. So it's just been great all around.
Was the video a documentary or just a general?
No, it was like some footage from PETA inside of a cow slaughterhouse.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, and you know, like it was just one of them things. It's like, why am I eating this? But I had no idea, you know, the animals were going through that. I just see it packaged. Mm-hmm. So I connected in that video and said, I'm an animal lover and this is horrible and I'm no longer eating the food.
Awesome. Great job.
Yes.
Thank you.
Jamila, what was your journey like?
So actually this month I've been vegan for like 7 years.
Woo!
So, yeah, that's a long time. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
So it all started really because my family's from the South. So everyone ate everything, you know, so I saw it all. I ate whatever type of way growing up. I was a picky eater. I barely ate vegetables by the time I went to college. And I didn't think that was a really good thing. I felt really, you have to pay attention to how you feel. And at that moment in time, when I was like 21, 20 years old, I was finally paying attention to how I feel. And it was unacceptable. I didn't like how I felt. My skin, you know, was acting up. I don't really care about the weight at this point in my life, but I noticed that my weight would fluctuate a little too much. And I didn't want to accept that these diseases, diabetes, like heart disease, all those type of things ran in my family. So I finally tried to put 2 and 2 together by what I'm eating is affecting me directly, how I feel physically. And I did my research. I Googled all over the place. I wanted to learn the correlation of food and physical health, how that affects your physical, your mental, your spiritual. And once I did that research, it basically told me straight up, it basically told me straight up that it was most likely animal products. They said that there was like mercury in fish and that there's antibiotics and things. And once I did my research on that, I wanted to look at videos just like what Nikki was talking about. Like I decided to watch videos, especially Earthlings. That was the first thing I ever watched.
Okay.
And after seeing that, I was like, what am I doing? Am I really going to support this? Like, what have I? It's so easy to not understand how like your package gets to your plate. And I didn't like the feeling that I was being lied to. So the more and more research I did on that, I learned more about food justice. I learned more about racial justice, environmental injustice, all those types of things. And then I went right into spirituality because I understood the mind, body, spirit aspect of being plant-based and connecting to things other than just myself, connecting to the earth, connecting to other beings, connecting to other people who are going through certain things that I'm not. Empathizing with them without having to be in that position. Just like with animals, we don't have to be in their position to understand that that's a terrible thing that they're going through.
Right.
So once I put all those things together and realized the connectedness of everything, it was easy to just make me want to stay vegan. That was the thing that really made me stay. So how that affects me now is that I want to fight for everyone. That's basically how what veganism has done for me. I want to fight for everyone. I want to make sure that everyone's treated fairly, how they deserve, they're born right, and helping other people see the connection of things too, not just you're my neighbor or you're my friend. Like I see you, I can see who you are past your titles, all those types of things. So I'm probably blabbing at this point, but basically my journey is all about connection and fighting for people when they're not going through what they should.
Awesome. That's great. And that's there's an echo. There's an echo. Is somebody volume up? I'm hearing an echo for some reason. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that sounds better. Okay. I just want to make sure if y'all have the volume up, if it's turned down, because I can hear myself echoing. Now
you sound fine.
You sound fine. I just hear it coming through like when you're talking.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it sounds cool now. Okay. So if you just have like if you have anything turned up, any volume on your phone or anything like that, if y'all could just lower it, because it's like a radio when you're on, I could hear the echoing. But it sounds good now. Thank you for that, Jamila. I want to talk about some of the challenges that you've gone through during your journey and, dealing with our culture. It is a tough fight. So you mentioned that, Jamila, going into community. And when I first met you, we were actually on the location at Morgan State handing out leaflets. And then I was telling you like how I try to connect with folks when I'm out there talking about the whole vegan soul connection. So a lot of people interpret vegan soul as just, vegan soul food. But when I'm saying vegan soul, I'm really talking about the whole inner soul, not just soul food, but connecting veganism in your soul. Because I feel everyone has some type of vegan compassion. It's just kind of like going into your inner self and finding it. So that's why I say vegan soul. What have been the challenges though dealing with folks, Chef Nikki, we'll start with you, in this movement, trying to promote compassionate living, compassionate eating in our communities?
Well, to be honest, I haven't faced too many challenges. Here in Atlanta, that's why when I'm listening, I'm like, what are I challenges? In Atlanta, we
must be a celebrity.
No. In Atlanta, we have a huge vegan community.
Yeah,
I mean, half of the vegan restaurants are Black owned. You know what I mean? Yes. So for me to come in, it was like I was late to the party. Everyone else was doing it. That's what I'm telling you. Like everyone else was doing it. And here I am still on like mock meats, and now I'm finding out about kale. And I'm like, what? Y'all eat kale? So they were putting me on. And then just getting into the spaces where they were, whether it was festivals or little pop-up shops. I mean, they were already doing this vegan thing. It wasn't until I started traveling away from Atlanta that people would say, oh my gosh, you don't eat chicken or you don't eat this. And I'm like, no, I'm vegan. So they didn't know about it. You know what I mean? But at home, everyone was already on it. I would say during my activism days when I would travel, trying to have people go vegan, especially we do like a Thanksgiving giveaway and we would tell people to use like the tofurkey. They're like, girl, I'm eating turkey on Thanksgiving. Like they just didn't make the connection where their turkey, like what was happening with that turkey before it came to their plate. Right. So they weren't ready to hear, make a change in your diet during a holiday, because their holidays are like, you look forward to eating. That's really not the time people are making that change. So if any challenge that I ever faced is trying to have people change their holiday meals, because they could do meatless Mondays. Right. And they could do something throughout the week, but to change a holiday meal that grandma fixed, they were not trying to hear, you know, changing those meals. Those are like staples in their family and traditions. So that would probably be the only resistance of changing something that's so familiar that you look forward to all year. Grandma's sweet potato pie, that mac and cheese, like they weren't ready to try vegan cheese at that point. Yeah. But I will say Atlanta has a great community, and like I said, vegan is everywhere here. So it's been fairly easy here for me.
Yeah, I got to kick it down there. Yes, it's that, you know, social and cultural stuff. You know, that's where it becomes the challenge. You know, definitely from what I experienced, because food is social, and a lot of folks they feel once they make a move, they have to find new friends, and their family is going to alienate them. You know, so going through that whole process, and you know, I asked the question about psychologically, you know, what people need to do to prepare for that. But Jamila, any challenges that you faced?
First of all, I'm about to say you are very lucky, because Atlanta is a Black haven. When I went to Atlanta a few years ago, all right. So being in Baltimore, it's not, you know, it's not terrible with that. You know, people like you, Brenda, you, Naija, and Brenda, y'all have definitely created a hub here in Baltimore where Black vegans to connect and other vegans to flourish and things like that. But when I started out in animal rights doing vegan work, you know, I had to leaflet at HBCUs, and me being from, I went to an HBCU. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, because, you know, I thought I could connect with people there. And although I did, but a lot of the complaints I've gotten was that, you know, it is a white person thing, or, you know, how dare you not eat something that's traditional to us? Or how can you ask me to give up something that's so substantial in my diet that I've been told for generations that it's healthy for me? So it really all comes down to like what you were talking about, traditions, beliefs, customs, the socialness of food. And also one thing that I have connected to this with in talking to a lot of my people when it comes to this is that we've been through so much. Food is a comfort for us. And when we've had a rough time, you know, our reality can be harsh sometimes. It feels so good to know that you could go back to your sweet potato pie. You know, your sweet potato pie ain't going to call you names, or, you know, it's not going to oppress you, but in a way it can. So my challenges is just kind of shifting the conversation away from that's a white person thing to there's no color to that. You can do that simply to help yourself and to lessen the, you know, of course, we can do as much as we can, but if you can lessen the harm of animals and, you know, the destruction of the planet, you know, and things like that, it's worth a shot. You know, it's worth a shot. I can't convince you to do anything. I can't force you to do anything. That's why my approach is really lax. I just like to give the information. And if you take it, great. Or I'll just show you what I'm doing. I'll show you what I'm eating. I'll show you what I'm buying. Hopefully that'll help you create a lifestyle around possibly being vegan. But it's really just the I don't want to help myself in the moment type situation, because how is that going to do anything, especially for me? So that's something that I like to try to change, that you can do something about it. you can at least try. And if
make
you don't
a
have
contribution to your health, to the environment, to you know, the animals, you know, you can do something. And a lot of times with folks, it's like, what's in it for me? I mean, I was having a conversation with the Badass Vegan the other day on a live stream, and he said the issue is like people want to dictate, you know, what the proper way to go vegan is, and you really can't tell anybody in their life what the proper way is. If they want to go vegan because of their health, they can start that way and then go on that journey and educate themselves. But if they say it's about the health before anything, you got to understand psychologically that's their approach to it. It's too much. You got to say you're vegan for this. And no, we don't have to do anything but stay black and die. You know what I'm saying? So you have to let our community go on this journey the way they feel comfortable going on the journey, and letting us be the face of educating them and being, I mean, because we're tired of it at this point. So, and then it makes us as vegans look like we are abrasive and disrespectful, and that's not how we're rolling. You know what I'm saying?
No. Right.
No.
You're right.
No. And I love that, because that's why I believe that the best thing to do is do your research first. That's why when people say, how can I go vegan? What can I do? I always say, do your research, figure out what makes you want to go vegan. Like what makes it worth it for you, because I can't tell you. Then make those first steps accordingly.
Let's talk about the successes. Chef, what are some of the major successes that you've experienced on this vegan journey?
Let's see. Well, because of this vegan journey, we have plant-based dripping. That just changed our whole life. You know what I mean?
I got my
Who knows what we would be doing had I not went vegan? You know, like this is 100% changed our life. We were working 9 to 5s, going vegan, and our life just changed. We launched a vegan apparel clothing line. I started cooking more foods. I was able to take on clients as meal prep clients, cook for a few celebrities. Like my life just started to change the moment I made a connection where my food came from and wanted to do better for my health and wanted to spread the message and show people they can change their diet, change their mind, change their outlook on life by just changing what you put in your mouth, what you allow in your spirit, or the people you hang out with. Just a whole shift in energy changed everything in my life and in Gray's life. And then just now, like with me launching my product, with everything that's going on now, these are plans that I had, but COVID just came in and twisted things around. Me going into a creative space and saying, how can I still make this happen? Because this is what I want to do. And I'm not going to let the situation that's going on stop me. And I just launched my product. So all the things that I see that happen great in my life, like I'm a mom and I'm loving raising my baby vegan and feeding her plant-based food. My relationship has grown from us going vegan. Our business has grown from us going vegan. We've made great friends and connections in our vegan festivals. Like everything is awesome because we are vegan. You know what I mean? Like there's not one negative thing. We haven't lost family members because they don't like our lifestyle. If anything, our family is inspired by us. They think we're like some vegan celebrities, not on a platform where people think we're stars, but like, they only eat fruits and vegetables. That is so cool. Like, they crazy, but they look at it like that. Like, wow, they don't eat meat. You guys are so cool. Like, yeah, anybody can do this. Like, this is not a class thing to the point where you say, okay, you eat meat. Oh, you don't eat meat. I eat meat. What's wrong with me? No, you can let it go. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that simple, but I know for some other people, it may not be as simple, but I like to just speak to the people who have iPhones, because anytime I talk to someone who has an iPhone, I know you have some level of what's going on. I'm not talking about the ones who don't have, you know,
I'm an Android user. I use Android.
I mean it, like, you have a smartphone, right? You have a smartphone. I'm not talking about people who don't have access to technology. These are people who are able to Google and search for anything under the sun. But when it comes to health and food, they're like, what to do? Those are the people I'm talking about. Like, we all can do this. So veganism has been great to me and my family. And I look forward to seeing, you know, how the years go and more people join in on the movement for their health or the animals. I just want people to live and enjoy life. You don't need to walk around on a cane and be sickly. It's quality of life. And I want people to have a great quality of life.
Amazing. Jamila.
I love that. Yes, honestly, I've made a lot of, I'm all about shadow work. I learned so much about myself being vegan. I learned that I have disordered eating patterns. I learned that I place so much hold on food. I learned that I'm an emotional eater because,
Wow.
veganism isn't just all about the diet. It's a lifestyle.
Right.
But focusing on how to transition my food out of animal, based foods, I learned about portion control. I saw how much I ate and how it made me feel like I was filling a void. And like the low self-image I had at the time based on what I was eating and things like that. So I really got to learn and take a peek into, why am I hiding away with food? Why do I place so much weight on food? Why do I need to eat these things in order to feel like I'm emotionally safe?
Huh. Wow.
So doing that type of work really helped me break out of my shell and made me really find my own self-confidence. It made me realize that I have a voice, that I'm not sick. I can make some changes. I'm not going to be set in my ways. Like the saying, like I said earlier, it runs in your family. A lot of it could be genetics, but a lot of it is lifestyle. And I realized that there were changes that I can make little day by day to be a better me. So once again, just like what you're saying, veganism has been nothing but good to me. Like I started my Instagram in 2013 and I started off, with vegan awareness. I wanted to show people how to make smoothies and show people how to do yoga, kind of similar to what I do now. But seeing that my family members were excited for me, they're from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So they're in the country. What's around them is just, Bojangles, Popeyes, all those types of things. But they were still interested in seeing what I've been doing. No one has cut me off. I've only made great friends from it. I've been, accepted into great communities. I started my own thing. Like I'm here at the Soulful Veganista. I've been doing my own thing along the way to help people realize that, we exist. Black vegans exist. If you need some help, come to me. Come to Afro Vegan Society. We got you. And so there's only been success, in my opinion. I don't have necessary total goals. I'm really just going with the flow with my own thing. But I just know that I'll always be vegan. And because of that, I feel like I'll always be successful in some sort of way.
Awesome. And you both have many, many followers. So if you're not following Chef Nikki in the Mix and the Soulful Veganista, now's your time. Their tags are here at Chef Nikki in the Mix, at the Soulful Veganista. Get on the following train and check out what they've been doing. Absolutely. And again, like you're saying with the successes, me working and partnering with the land of Cush and what we've done here in Baltimore, I would have never imagined, that this little one location would have elevated us to the level where we're at with, national attention. And international in some regards. When Stevie Wonder came in, that just went international. So yeah. So then we got, people in Australia and all other different countries, were reaching out, everyone wanted t-shirts. So and then, moving on to creating Baltimore's first ever vegan Soul Fest, and then moving on to creating the country's first vegan restaurant. So just evolving into all of this stuff, all things vegan. I would have never imagined this is where we would be. So great success stories. Business. So let's talk about business now that I, open it up, talking about Land of Cush and Chef Nikki. You were talking about plant-based dripping, but you also have your business, and so do you, Jamila. So let's talk about what's going on with that. Let me just show these fat ass pancakes that you have. Talk to us about, where did that idea? Look at those pancakes. Like they are fat ass pancakes. Like they've been sold out. I haven't even been able to order anything.
Listen.
So how did this start, man?
Listen, so I love pancakes, right? Gray loves pancakes. And I'm cooking, I cook pancakes. That's what I do. And one day he was like, Nikki, you got some fat ass cakes. And I'm like, you think like me? You think I do? He's like, those pancakes are fat. I'm like, oh, you're talking about these pancakes. I was like, they are pretty fat, huh? And he was like, yeah, and they're good. You need to sell them. And I was like, I want to start selling my food. So next year, which was 2020, I said, I'm going to start going to the festivals and I'm going to have a tent. Like, we're going to start vending food. That was the plan. And COVID said, no, you're not. And I said, oh my gosh, great. Like, I guess I can sell plates from the house. So I tried to do that, but I didn't want too many people coming over by where I live to pick. Then you can't just store pancakes and have people get them. Like, you got to get pancakes when they come off the stove.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I can't package those because they need to be warm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I'm like, why don't I sell the mix? And one of my homegirls, she was like, Nikki, yeah, do it. And I said, okay. And I packaged it up. And, you know, I went online and told people I was selling it. The response I got, everybody wanted them. Yeah. Now, think about this. I wasn't looking at it. It was the thing. I wasn't looking at it like this huge thing. I was like, I know some people may want them, so I just bag up a few bags. Everybody wanted them. So now here I am, like, okay, so I'm the only one mixing all these products, y'all do know. And I'm taking care of my baby. And I'm still cooking for my family. Right. And they're like, we want them. So I released 300. But they were gone in 2 hours.
Sold out.
Let me put 400 more up. They were gone in 30 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
So I said, and now I'm not saying I'm backing out of the pancake game. What I'm saying is it's more than I expected. So thankful for it. But I didn't know it was going to hit like this. So now my days are 5 hours. I spend mixing. Gray takes the baby. They do their thing. She takes a nap. When she wakes up, I'm ready to be with her. But this is totally new for me. I'm thankful for it, but I'm also like, whoa, I didn't know y'all wanted pancakes this bad. Some people just received theirs yesterday and they're already posting pictures and telling me how much they love them. So I'm like over here crying yesterday, like, hey, they really like me. They rock me. And he's like, yeah, I told you that. I'm like, but you tell me I see it. You know what I mean? Like, I see it and I feel it and they showing me love. And I'm just so thankful for them, especially during this time when a lot of people are like, how am I going to make it? What am I going to do? Like, they are being good to me. And I'm so appreciative of everyone who purchased it. People still saying they sold out when you restock. And I'm like, I just bagged almost 1,000. Give me a minute. I've
been trying to buy them since the last show because I didn't know anything about the pancakes. So, you know, I had Gray on the show a week or so ago, and I was watching both of y'all do the lives, and y'all were talking about the pancakes. So I didn't know what was going on. I just know a live popped up on Gray, and I was already following Chef Nikki, but you know, his popped up, and then y'all both were doing this live, and I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, Nikki, you got to get in on the show because we got to talk about these pancakes.
I'm telling you,
because they've been sold out. Like, I can't even get them. Like, you
can't get them. You can't get them. And it's not like I'm holding out on people. I want y'all to have them, but I'm honestly hand mixing them myself, one by one. It's me. So this is a real life small business. I don't have a huge factory and people working for me. So I'm getting them out as soon as I can, but I'm just thankful people want them as bad as they do.
So blessing being a mompreneur. You make, okay, it's a pandemic, you know, and you're navigating through the pandemic with this new business idea and being a mompreneur, negotiating your environment and trying to make all of this happen. So yes, there's something bad going on, but there's a rebirth or reset.
Yes.
There's something happening that is bringing new energy into your business world. So that is major. Jamila, what's going on with you? Now you've done some readings for me, and the last reading that you did, you know, you remember, right? You did this last reading for me and you said something, not just something's going to go on. I don't know what it is. And this is before I even kind of knew about this whole platform stuff. You said something is going to happen, and you said, you know, it might happen in July or whatever. So maybe this is the intro and then something's going to go on in July. So I'm just waiting. About your business. You are a fabulous tarot card reader. So if anybody wants their tarot cards read, I can attest. Jamila has read my cards twice and she has been on point.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? It's funny that you asked because I've actually taken a step back from doing anything totally business minded, if that makes sense. I'm still doing readings for people. And I still do kind of like shadow work consultations with people, but I'm taking a step back to focus more on Afro Vegan Society because, you know, we just started back up again and I'm really excited about that.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. I'm so excited. And on top of that, I'm really still up in the air. You know, I'm a Pisces, so I go with the flow too much with a little bit of things. And I don't even know if that's totally the route that I would want to go forever. So I'm still in the mix of things. I'm in the mix. I'm still.
That's what this is about, in the mix with Chef Nikki.
Exactly. I'm still in the middle of figuring things out. I noticed that recently I wanted to change all my clothes. All my clothes have been thrifted. They're from high school. They're from college. I want to throw them all away. So I've been getting new clothes that suit best my personality, my spirit, like, my fashion sense. And part of me just wants to like take pictures and talk about vegan stuff and shadow work stuff and Black people stuff. And I think that's just kind of what I'm going to do in the meantime until I figure things out on my Instagram, especially. But I am going to always focus. Yes, Pisces. But yeah, I'm always going to focus on shadow work, lifestyle, improvements. And if people need help, I got them, especially for spiritual insight. Yeah. And then also brushing up more on my social media. That's why I'm glad that Afro Vegan Society, I'm back with them, because that's helping me out with my social media. It's going to make me a better social media personality so I can reach out to more, Black folk, and talk to them about veganism, talk to them about inner work, and all that types of stuff.
And it's afrovegansociety.org.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so afrovegansociety.org. You go check them out. They have a dairy workshop coming up, or a series of workshops coming up every Saturday in June. So definitely check out what's going on with Afro Vegan Society. So we talked about upcoming projects already, right? So that's covered. What documentaries, because we skimmed over some documentaries, but I wanted to get in more detail about documentaries that you would recommend that people watch if they're thinking about going into or becoming vegan. I know my favorite was Cowspiracy, because it kind of gave me like a whole, I don't like gory stuff. It just grosses me out. But when I watched Cowspiracy, it kind of gave me this whole other perspective on what was going on in, the vegan world. So what documentaries would you recommend?
Well, I watched What the Health, Cowspiracy, Earthlings, Forks Over Knives, anything that was on Netflix. When I first started in my journey, I just binge watched everything because I just wanted to see. I wanted to hear what people had to say, and I just watched it all. I already had my decision made that I was vegan, so I just watched it, and it just confirmed for me, like, I'm doing the right thing. This is the best thing for my health and the animals and the planet. And I know when What the Health came out, it was trending. Everyone was watching it. Everyone was talking about it. People were like, now I can't eat chicken again. I just watched What the Health, and then maybe started eating chicken. I'm glad that they watched it, though, because what I always say is, you may not change today, and I may speak to you, and something may hit you next week. Like, that's fine with me. I don't want to beat you over the head and tell you to watch these documentaries and it's going to change you today. Like, sometimes something has to hit you when it hits you. It's not for me to tell you that What the Health is going to change you, or any documentary. For that, you can just honestly go to your doctor's office. He can give you a diagnosis and you can say, I need to change. You know what I mean? So if you're into documentaries, What the Health is great. If you haven't even thought about what happens to animals that are bred for slaughter, check out Cowspiracy or Earthlings. Those are, pretty hard to watch, but some people, they have no idea how they get their food.
Right.
So if you're interested in that, give it a try.
Thank you for that, Chef. Jamila, some favorite documentaries you would recommend?
For me, I'll always say What the Health, just because I remember the influx of messages from random people I got when that came out. It was so impactful once it came out. And also there's a lot of representation in that movie too. I believe Milton Mills is in it. Yes. There's also a woman talking about the food apartheid in North Carolina, I believe. Yeah. So there's representation in there. Also because I'm not one to want to show graphic images of animal slaughter to people. Some people, that does help them change.
Yes.
I'd rather say it than show it. But I feel like that's a nice way to introduce like what's in it for you, because hopefully eventually these people are going to look up what also happens to what they're, to the people that they're eating, to the beings that they're eating.
Right.
So I always go there just because health usually impacts people I notice the most.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start figuring out like how they can help themselves, they always move to it, like shift to a different perspective when it comes to veganism. Like for me, like when I first went vegan, like it was for health and it was also for animals. But then I learned more about food justice and I learned more about, other things too. So you never know where that can go once you just talk about what you can do to change your diet.
Exactly.
But yeah, exactly. So that's definitely my favorite. Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think with our in our community, because and not in all communities, but if you think about, let's just talk about the city of Baltimore and the high crime and homicide rate, and Chef Nikki, I'm not sure what the situation is in Atlanta, but it is a major city too, with the killings and things like that. Looking at a video with slaughter animals, do you think that would really, because it seems like we're already insensitized to killings and things like that, would that really be something that would drive people to go vegan?
Well, I don't say that it will. For me, that's why I say it's because I know people need different things to see different things to wake them up. People need to read about different things or watch whatever they need to kind of shake them up or to get them thinking or to change their mind. It just for me, because I didn't mind scrolling and I followed PETA. So my thing is, if you follow these people, the kind of push the stuff they put out. Like I see the footage they put out. I've worked with them, so I know, the images. It just hit me different to see that I buy meat and to see how it got to the store. You know what I mean? So that's just how it hit me. But when I'm doing my activism, I don't walk around with the camera or a screen to show people slaughter. Like, I don't think we need to see slaughter to change. If anything, it can be as simple as you've lost several relatives to the same thing, and it's because what they eat. You can try this.
Thank you.
And like I said, here in Atlanta, girl, like I said, I'm the last one to go vegan. Everybody been vegan. It was just me.
They bowed it down. They bowed it down there.
Girl, they been like I'm meeting people are like, yeah, I'm like 30 years, 40 years in. Like they've been about that life.
Wow.
So I'm like, geez, I don't need to be telling you nothing. You need to tell me. And they're growing their own food here. You know what I mean? Like Atlanta is doing it. These Black plant-based people, and they kind of get away from the word vegan too. And I understand it just being in the culture with them. Like they're growing their own food. Some of them, yeah, they're fishing and they call themselves plant-based, but they're working on their survival skills. Mm-hmm. They know how to survive if things were to, go all the way left. They're like, we're good. So I'm learning a lot from them.
Jamila?
Yeah, I totally feel you on that. I feel like those types of images, I wouldn't say it wouldn't impact people who've been exposed to violence and live in traumatizing communities, traumatizing environments. But I just feel like it'd be almost like an unnecessary thing to expose them to, because if they're, being gunned down in the street and they're seen as, damaged goods, why would they, not saying that they can't, because they have the capacity to have compassion for those animals who've been slaughtered. But it's kind of like, okay, but that's not my family member. That's not my, that's not my auntie. That's not my, I have to worry about my own survival at the moment. That's very unfortunate. But especially when you're in an area where you don't necessarily have the biggest choice, you don't have the resources. It's kind of like you're showing that to me in vain. You're showing that to me to pass off your agenda. Although it is a pure one, we have to realize that if we really want to help people transition, we have to see their situation. Like, what's your money situation like? What have you been through when you were a child? What resources do you have in your area? All those types of things. Like, what is local to you? So if we show those people's those images, especially in those environments, we have to back it up with some help too. That's why I didn't, I'm not saying nothing about anything, but, with certain orgs, I just feel like, handing information is great, but what other resources can we do to help people transition? Because it's more than just go vegan, like, oh my God, animals are getting killed. And that's very true and very horrible. But how can I truly help you? What Do you need a list of restaurants in your area, which we have at AfroVeganSociety.org? Do you need to know what products you need to buy? Do you need to know what places that can donate to you? You know, they like Food Not Bombs, all those types of organizations to help you. So I feel like someone could, but the prerogative is more than just traumatizing people further with visions of violence. It's more, how can I help you actually transition so you can contribute less to this industry and help yourself in the process, if that makes sense.
Oh, no. You exactly. That's exactly the answer that I was looking for. You both contributed good answers to that. Yes. What the health, I can tell you when that came out. That year, the land of Cush, the lines outside the door, and we've had years like that, but that year, the churches were calling us to speak at like, you know, we got called. It was just the best revenue year for the land of Cush. It was so amazing. So that documentary had everyone coming out to the restaurant, you know, and we got some more that have come out since then. You know, the Invisible Vegan, you know, is a good one, and then Badass Vegan is working on They're Trying to Kill Us, so I can't wait to see that one. They're trying that one. Yeah, I saw Gray's he had a snippet in there. They're Trying to Kill Us, so I can't wait to see that one. And that's and he's working with the guy that produced What the Health, so it's going to be really good. So can't wait. I want to take this time out right now to shout out some of the sponsors. We appreciate Jane Unchain News for giving us this platform. She also has a documentary, Countdown to Year Zero, on Amazon Prime, and then she has the cooking show, New Day, New Chef. So you want to check that out. Chef Babette was featured on there, and so was John Sally. So that's a new cook show that she has on Amazon. Also want to shout out Veg Fund, A Welfare World, and Women Funders and Animal Rights. If it wasn't for them, you know, this wouldn't be possible on this platform, or, you know, I'd probably have to go on another platform, but they're definitely supporting me in this initiative. So I appreciate their support. Also, you want to download the free Veg Starter Guide. If you haven't heard of the fabulous Tracy McQuarter, she has made a vegan starter guide for us, by us. African American Vegan Starter Guide. It is free. Download it. Tell a friend, and definitely share this live broadcast. There will be a repay. It is streaming on Jane Unchained, NajaSpeaks.com, The Land of Cush, Black Vegetarian Society of Maryland, and Vegan Soul Fest Facebook pages. So definitely share this broadcast. We have the fabulous Chef Nikki in the mix and the Soulful Veganista, Jamila Anahata. What are some very, very important messages that you want to send out to our viewers right now? Like anything that's impactful pertaining to personal vegan journeys and or businesses that you don't want to leave off the show without letting people know. Chef?
Personal vegan journey. Don't let anyone tell you how your journey should go. If you're vegan, and I believe you touched on this a minute ago, Naja, if you're vegan for your health, do that. That's not selfish. Like, you can be vegan for your health and stand in that. Don't let pushy vegans come to you and say, what about the animals and the planet? Just let them know they'll reap the benefits of me going vegan for my health. So hold on to that and do it. Also, if you're thinking of starting a business, you know, you get nervous especially if you're looking at your follower count and you're like, who's going to support, who's going to buy? Oh, well, I saw a post that said I had 1,000 followers and I pushed out my product and all 1,000 people bought it. That's good. Like, do that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need the huge following behind something that you're passionate about. Just do it. And if it's your passion, it'll flow. People will see it, word of mouth. And you can just have your dreams come true off of your small support. Just have your support system there. You'll be just fine.
Thank you. Oh, anything about Mompreneur? You're Mompreneur. You want to add anything about that, please?
Well, like I said, this is new for me. I do feel kind of bad when I have to leave my baby for 4 hours, but looking at the long haul of it, she'll be fine. She's with her dad, and I'm making like an impact on our life. It'll affect her life, and it'll be great for the family. So I look at the bigger picture, And don't let the baby, you know, come between your goals. I'm a breastfeeding mom. I still breastfeed. I encourage all mothers to breastfeed. And if it's one of those things where it's like I either have to work on my goals or breastfeed my baby, girl, breastfeed that baby. Them goals ain't going nowhere.
Breast milk is the
Don't
best
let it
milk.
get in the way.
Breast milk is
I
the
hate
best
to hear.
milk.
Yes, I hate to hear how, you know, like I couldn't breastfeed. I had to focus back on this, and this. And everyone's situation is different. Fortunately, and thankfully, I'm in a situation where I can do both. But I'm a huge advocate for breastfeeding. Breastfeed those babies, and you'll find time. I'm like, it's your life. You'll just find time to see what works for you. You may have to lose 2 hours of sleep to work on your goal, but that's what happens when you become a mom. Like we just adjust and we make things happen because we're superwomen like that.
We're magic.
Jamila. Oh my God, I love that so much. Okay, I'm not a mom, so I can't say nothing. But I would definitely say to listen to your internal voice and to live your authentic life as much as possible. And that can mean so many things for you. Listening to your internal voice is basically your intuition. And that might sound hippy dippy to a lot of people, but your intuition is real, okay?
Hey, I know all about that.
You
Chef
do.
Nikki, what's your sign? You didn't get your sign. What was your sign?
I'm a Libra.
Woo! My sister's a Libra. I know all about it.
I love Libras.
I know all about it.
Yes. So
sorry,
really, you just need to listen. You need to it's harder, especially for our people, to be present, but there are some times where we need to slow down and listen to how we're actually feeling. Scan our body for resistance. If there's anything that's tense in the body, shine a light on that. See where that's coming from, because that's possibly the one thing that's holding you back from being your authentic self. And that might also sound like it's a total lifestyle thing, but that's going to help you see veganism in a different light, you know, racial justice in a different light, environmental justice in a different light. You're going to see that interconnectedness of everything, how it affects you, and what you would want to do to change in your own way. Listening to your internal voice is going to literally, it's your internal compass. It's going to make you realize if it's for health, if it's for environment, if it's for, you know, animals. And once again, you'll act accordingly. And by living authentic, you're not going to let people make you feel bad for living within your morals. Because a lot of us, you know, vegans have a reputation. Realistically, yes. You know, it's different with Black vegans, but unfortunately, you know, vegans, you know, we're assuming is white vegans, so people are going to automatically clump us into that category. So when you're living your authentic life, you're not going to care whether or not people are talking mess about your veganism. People are making you feel like you're less than a Black person. You're not as Black. You're not going to care if you're eating junk food or plant-based or whatever. You know, do what makes you feel good in the end, as long as you're not hurting nobody. And make sure that you're doing it for you and not for other people. There's not a performance here. There's not a race. There's not a, you know, no one's keeping tabs on you. You're the only one who's going to have to decide those things. So really take time to listen and take time to feel.
Hey, thank you, Jane. We appreciate the comment. Yes. Again, a shout out to Jane Unchained News for allowing this platform to have a different perspective discussion. It's so appreciated because we need to voice our opinions as well. So we definitely appreciate your support, Jane. Any upcoming projects? Before we close out, I mean, we still have about 11 minutes. I want to make sure that if there's anything upcoming, like the fat ass pancakes, when are we going to have more? Because I want to order some, okay? I've been on there and there are no pancakes, and you got to send me something, okay?
So listen, I will be telling you all this for the first time because I haven't told Instagram or Facebook, but I plan to restock the website on Friday.
Okay.
Friday. Which is, I think, the 29th.
Okay, this coming Friday, y'all better get on there because it's.
So this is an exclusive here with Naja. This is an exclusive. I'm going to release them on Friday, the 29th.
Okay, this is exclusive right here on Jane Unchained. Chef Nikki the Mix is going to have the pancakes Friday the 29th. You better order them because I'm waiting for my pancakes.
Thank you.
Jamila.
Ooh, God, I love pancakes, by the way. But yeah. Really, if you want a tarot card reading from me, y'all, go right ahead. But I would say upcoming projects, I've been also ordering more vegan makeup because I fell off the makeup game a little bit ago. I've been practicing more and more. I've been watching more. And, it would be great if I could do like vegan makeup tutorial for Black girls, stuff like that, especially with like alternative punk and goth like makeup. Because there's not a lot of us out there. There's not a lot of Black goth type people out there. I would love to be that representation, especially with vegan makeup. So I'm probably going to start doing like vegan makeup tutorials, showing people my vegan leather,
nice.
Vegan metalheady type stuff, like anti-violent metal. I don't know, something like that. I'll figure it out. But either way, it's definitely going to be along the lines of like vegan beauty, goth beauty type of stuff like that, with tarot cards and honestly just making content on my pages and stuff. I'm just going with the flow, my Pisces self.
Yeah. What timeline do you have on that? When can we expect it?
Honestly, with everything that's going on, a lot of my packages have been late. Okay. I plan to have things ready by this time, like mid-May, a little late May. But it looks like around June, a lot of those things are going to be popping off. And we just got a new little camcorder. So I'm going to be filming, and I'm really excited about that. Also, I forgot, I have an ebook coming up that I have definitely been procrastinating on. Okay. It's called Align for Life. It's a 7-day chakra guided meditation type thing.
Oh, I got to get that. I'm into the chakra. Major.
Yeah, I need to finish it and I need to stop slacking, but it's going to happen. 7 days of chakra, there's 7 chakras. There's more chakras, but the 7 ones that we know about. 7 days. I soothe you with some guided meditations, and it's a wrap. So I'm really excited to promote that really, really soon.
And I think if people get their chakras aligned, they'll be more open to go vegan, because it's like that internal work and that balancing, and then you can open up your I guess your third eye, if I'm correct, to be open to all of this new stuff and new information and act on it. I am religious with the chakras. I got the incense, I got the candles, I got the stones, I got everything chakra, and it really helps me stay grounded and keep in tune with what's going on. And I think if people start doing some chakra work, we might get some more vegans.
Probably.
Yes, so definitely, like I said, shout out to Jane Unchained News, A Welfare World, Veg Fund, Women Funders, and Animal Rights. Check out New Day, New Chef on Amazon, and also the documentary Countdown to Year Zero. Again, thank you for taking out the time, Chef Nikki. I know with the little one, and you being a mompreneur and helping Gray with his project, you are busy as heck. So I appreciate you taking out the time to come and join us. And Jamila, it's always a pleasure. Definitely my sister from another mother. And yes, definitely keep it up with those tarot cards. I appreciate you. Remember, everyone, share, like, subscribe. Make sure you're following these ladies. Follow Jane Unchained and stay tuned for upcoming programming on Jane Unchained's Facebook page and Instagram. Okay. If there aren't any questions, because I don't see any in the comment, if there aren't any questions, we are going to say peace.
Oh, thank you so much, Naija.
Oh, no problem. Have a good one.
You
All
too.
right.